the top 5 skills for the post-degree workforce. Number 1 is AI tool fluency. That's number 1. You know that one of the things that makes me very competitive is that I know all these things, bro. You know that. You know that you're always asking me, what does this do? What does that do? And I'm always like, this does that, because I know these tools and I work with these tools every single day and I research them every single day. So I think skill number 1 is knowing the tools as an operator. So the actual ability to use AI tools daily to produce outputs, which means research, drafts, analysis, automation, decisions. What this looks like in practice is knowing which model tool to use for which task. And I think I really need to build a course, maybe with your help, to show people which model tool to use for which task.
Oh my God. Okay, can I make a comment there? Can I make a comment there
Yes,
first before you
please.
proceed? Everyone that's listening, okay? That comment was made to him in the beginning of this year before we even got deeper into this AI conversation.
I procrastinated a little bit.
Let's put it on record. A human being suggested that to Willie, not Gemini, not ChatGPT, Claude, whatever other AI tool. That wasn't suggested. It was a human being who suggested that. So let's be clear.
Yes.
Go ahead. Say that.
Yes. Thank you for suggesting that and keeping suggesting that, because you pretty much tell me every 2 weeks to do that. So I'll probably have to do that. Then iterating fast. So that's another thing. It's like speed. All of our speed has to increase, and then using AI as a collaborator, not a magic button. So that follows all into the AI tool fluency, which is knowing the tools, iterating with them fast, getting them to create business valuable things, or if it's personal, something personally valuable, solving a personal problem, and then using it as a collaborator, not something which is like, well, it didn't fix my car. Oh, it didn't fix my hernia. Or so it's like, people tend to think it's like this magic button. It's not. Okay. The next skill, would you agree that that's a primary skill, first of all? I want agreement or disagreement.
Yeah, AI tools fluency, yes. I agree.
Okay. The next
if
thing.
you are going to be in this space, and if you are going to be if these are the jobs or careers that you want to pursue, then yes, you got to be fluent with these tools. Just like if you want to work in America, you got to be fluent in English.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. All right, the next one, and this one goes back to what you were saying about college and kind of that critical thinking thing. But this is a very important skill, and I think AI is going to help us surface this. It's called problem framing and decomposition. And I have said this to you, and you kind of disagreed with me, but I'm going to say the pithy statement of, if you knew what was wrong with you, it wouldn't be wrong with you, because you would have already figured out a formula or something to solve it. So it would no longer be wrong with you. It would be something you'd be working to solve. And you know what I'm saying? Like you could say, oh, the problem with this company is it has no revenue. That's not the problem. The problem actually is that you've got no marketing team or something like that, or no sales team, right? So problem framing and decomposition.
No, I disagreed with that. I don't disagree with that. I agree with that.
Well, I didn't frame it the way I just framed it. I framed it.
It's a question framing problem.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so let me continue reading. AI is powerful, but is dumb about what matters. Humans still win at defining the real problem, breaking vague goals into executable steps, and translating business pain into solvable tasks. So, the highest value people aren't doing the work. We all know that. They're deciding what work should be done. Now, the only translation is they're deciding what work should be done using AI. So this is where the orchestrator, the manager, the project manager thought comes in, as far as like, okay, we have all this stuff. What are we going to do with this business? What are we going to do with this specific problem? How do we frame it so that we can attack it with these tools? And that is a skill that not a whole lot of people have, because they'll tend to attack wrong targets. They'll tend to attack things which don't surface. And AI can solve a million things, but you need to direct it towards that. What is your thoughts about that skill number 2?
Okay. Let me pause for 2 seconds and let me frame my thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just recap what you
And
just
first
said.
of all, is it even possible for people to even learn the skill, or is it something innate? Like, it's kind of a broad thing, and it's almost like
Okay.
CEOs can do this, I guess, but
So that's an underlying issue. So let's start just like AI, right? When we prompt our AI, we have the AI answer or figure out the underlying issues first before they provide their answers or give
Yep.
their suggestions.
Yep.
What you just described on, yes, I agree with AI fluency on tools what to use, especially if you want to be hired or you want to work in the space full time 24/7 or 9 to 5. Yes, you got to be fluent with the tools. Number two, you're right, I agree, it's how you frame the problem, because AI cannot figure out what the problem is till you frame it properly or provide more context to AI.
Correct.
Right. Now, they're important. I think what's missing there is really has nothing to do with AI. Let's think about it this way. The difference between AI and a chatbot or those past technology. In the past technology is based on rules, right? A chatbot is based on rules that you give. AI is not based on rules. AI is results oriented. They don't care if you go through Mount Everest to get the answer, but you
Sure.
get the answer at the end of the day.
Sure.
It's not rule based, it's results based. So if AI is results based, then the question really is, what does the leader or the company owner want to happen in their business? So now it is really more of a question, has nothing to do with AI. It's more of a question of leadership. What does the leadership structure or the executive team want to happen? What results are they looking for? More revenue, more clients, less expenses, lean workforce. What else? Expansion in another
market or whatever. Yeah.
Expanding in a foreign market, closing down a facility in one market. So those are all executive choices or decisions that needs to be made by either the executive team or the CEO. So I would say it's a leadership problem, because the leadership has to figure out what the results are first. If I say I want to shut down my factory in the Philippines, for example, I'm gonna shut that down. So what's the cost, and what will that happen to my entire business unit if I shut down the factory in the Philippines? What's the results? What will happen? What are the results that I will get from that? Or what's the downside risk if that happens? Once I make that decision, like I want to shut down my factory in the Philippines, then all the AI fluency tools that's available will help me get to that result with minimizing downside risk on my U.S. operations. So I'm trying to be very clear here. You start first with the strategy and where the leadership team wants to go. Then your AI tools will adjust to where the leaders wants to go.
Right.
So from that perspective, it is really not a technology game anymore. It is a business game.
Mm-hmm.
AI shouldn't be treated as a tech game. It should be treated as a business game wherein, okay, I want to do this. I want to shut down my factory in the Philippines, but what will happen to my U.S. operations?
Brilliant.
Then that's where I bring in AI.
That's a great point. That's a great way to frame it. And this goes to all the people who are like, I hate AI. I'm never going to use AI. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I'm never going to use AI. I'm like, first of all, it's inevitable. But number two, it's not even a matter of the tech. It's exactly what you said. It's a business problem that we're now solving more efficiently with these systems. Speaking of systems, the next part is automation thinking and system building, which means thinking in systems, which we already kind of touched on this. We don't need to beat this one to death, but what can be automated, what repeats, where does information flow break? So simple workflows, connecting tools instead of manually doing tasks, turning one-off effort into repeatable machines. and so on. So this is the world I'm currently exploring right now, because I think I have 1 and 2 pretty good. This one is still where I'm delving into building agents, building automations, and learning system architecture. As an example, what I'm trying to build now with the use of these tools is a vector database which has the personalities of my IP. For example, Serene,
Right.
all her personality, all her quirks, how she responds. And then this thing, this is nuts if I get it to work. It's going to monitor Reddit, it's going to monitor social media, and as soon as there's a post that kind of indicates, say somebody's talked about their dreams, it's going to go and the system is going to go to the brain, Serene's personality, figure out what Serene would say about that, and automatically respond without me having to be there.
That's an example of wherein you know what results you want to have. You know what, as a business owner, this is what I want to happen. So you're using all the tools available to affect that change, or have
Right.
that results come to fruition.
Right. So the systems thinking I think is the part where leaders need to kind of maybe adapt a little bit more, because I'm having a little bit of a challenge of it, and I'm relatively intelligent.
And you want to hear something that will provoke most people?
Yeah.
AI shouldn't be under the purview of your IT department.
I agree. They should check to make sure you're not using it wrong, and that they
you have your IT department to make sure all the it's working, the system is there, but where that AI tool is going to be deployed is not a decision your IT department has to make. It is your decision, because you're the one who understands. Okay, these are the results I want. I want it to go to Serene and this and that, and all the IT has to do is to actually make sure those tools are used to.
They're connected, exactly. That they work. Absolutely. Yeah. Good point. All right. So that's skill number 3. Skill number 4, and this is where currently I think humans are just the best. We're never going to be replaced here, probably, but we're good. Judgment, taste, and verification. So AI can generate infinite output, but humans are still needed to decide what's good, what's trash, what's true versus what's plausible sounding nonsense, what aligns with goals, brands, ethics, or reality. So here's a good line. As output becomes cheap, discernment becomes expensive. This is where senior level value lives. What?
Where are you reading this off?
From my notes. From my notes.
From your notes.
Yeah, I wrote these.
What you just said there, my friend, can you repeat the last statement again? The last sentence, can you repeat that again?
Okay. As output becomes cheap, discernment becomes expensive. This is where senior level value lives. So that judgment, it costs nothing to generate the stuff, but where is the value? Where are the good gold nuggets for us to use in all this cheap AI output?
Okay, isn't that a role of a college degree holder in psychology?
You were just waiting to throw that at me.
This is not scripted. I was just sitting there, okay.
You were waiting to be like, bam, buddy. No, that's great. That's a great point. That's a perfect point.
I get 3 points, brother. I get 3 points.
Yeah, that is a good point, and that brings us back to that liberal arts, humanities, college experience. That is a place right there where Arvin's pro-college point makes sense.
Well,
Yes,
I mean, at the end of the day, let's say in a world that we live in, there's how many billions of people? How many people are in LA alone? 200 million?
No, in LA there's 20 million.
20 million. So I went over 0. So 20 million people in LA. 20
million, 200 million. It feels like there's 5 billion, so it's okay.
And usually we would meet these people in our adult life. Because your high school friends, they're either nowhere to be found or they live in different places now. Let me ask, and I ask this to everybody: how would you determine a person's character, or if they can see this project through if you're only meeting them in your 30s or in your 40s. And I'm saying I'm not saying it's a guaranteed a surefire uh, answer or filter, but going through college, knowing that you went to college for 4 years and sat your ass in numerous classes which you hated, but you actually you found a way to pay for it, tells me a little bit about you that you're willing to see this through the end. Because not everything in our life, right, is gonna be all roses and peaches.
Right.
You're gonna have to sit through classes like that. Like, I don't know, like in my case, I could name a bunch of classes I hated, but I had to sit there, like sociology. I hated sociology, but I sat there and hated it. But so that I would say, I'm just coming on my personal point of view. It's like, how can I gauge you, right, or somebody, unless we spend more time together, like what we're doing right now? But if we don't have that, and how can I say, okay, is this person really going to see this through? I mean, I'm only meeting you in my 30s, even late 40s.
Yeah, you don't have enough context. So the college degree gives you some context as to the person.
It gives me a little. I wouldn't say a lot, but it gives me a little context about. Okay, I know this guy will see this through. You know, it gives me a little information to go work on it and run with it, because it gives me, okay, this guy took a 5-year course, finished it, then maybe he has the potential to finish this project of mine with him. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it gives me a little bit of confidence too. Like, okay, this dude can probably finish this. Okay. That's how I look at it, right? I'm not saying a lot, but I'm just saying if you take everything out, then maybe that gives me a little confidence. Okay, this dude did this. Unless, like I said, we spend time together. That's why there's a lot of money and time invested in all these networking events, the paid networking events.
Yeah,
right. They're not college, right? Right. Like we pay to get into this networking event because you want to be in a qualified market. What does a qualified market mean? It means these are people that are serious and committed in whatever they're doing.
Correct.
That's the same thing with college.
True. Yeah, they have skin in the game, right? They got skin in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so skill number 5, and this is, to me, the number 1 skill, is learning velocity.
What's that?
Okay, the real skill isn't knowing X. It's learning X faster than others. So, picking up new tools quickly, letting go of obsolete skills, updating your mental models without ego. Okay? Why does this matter? Because in a world where tools change every 6 to 12 months, like we've been talking about, even faster now, it's like every month, things undergo a sea change. Adaptability beats expertise. That's a controversial statement. It's how I operate. Adaptability beats expertise. Degrees lock you into the past. Learning velocity keeps you relevant. That's a little bit controversial, but that's where I'm going to go with it, because I know a lot of crap. I know a lot of stuff. I have expertise in a lot of fields. But right now, it does me no good. What is doing me good, what's helping me put food on my table, is I'm adaptable, highly adaptable, and I learn fast. And that, thank God, knock on wood, I was blessed with that or something. But that is a skill I think you can learn. And if you use these tools like Gemini and Notebook LM, your learning accelerates. So that, to me, is probably, of all these skills, the number 1. What are your thoughts?
Oh no! I mean, I'm not going to argue against you with that. I agree 100%. I don't have to argue. I don't have to be on this side of the fence. I agree with you 100%. Adaptability. Adaptability beats speed. Adaptability beats trying to be perfect. Like when we say we gotta go to market with the minimum viable product and perfect that product as we go. But it has to be viable initially,
right?
But that's have to be the best product. So yes, adaptability, and I would even add there, adaptability and availability is the skill set that we both, that everybody needs to have. Because if you're not adaptable and you're not available, then I'm going to go to the next guy.
Sure.
Or next person. I agree with you.
Okay, perfect. So We're going to wrap this up because we've been talking for almost an hour. I think the consensus is, okay, college does have value. The education part has value. We can reframe the actual structure of it. It doesn't have to be Harvard or whatever. I think even for a lot of people,
maybe Northridge
Community College coming online September 2026. But my caveat is, because I'm going to concede that to you, is that you need to use these 5 tools or get your college education with these 5 skills in mind. AI tool fluency, problem framing and decomposition, system building, judgment, taste, and verification, and learning velocity and adaptability. What do you think?
I agree 100%.
Okay, we're friends still. Look at that.